Good morning, everybody. You are listening to the Cindy Cochran Show. Of course, there's nothing to listen to yet, but just hang on, and we're going to be there. We've got a great show today because you know my passion for the veterans, and so we're going to be all over that. I mean, all over that. An amazing new project that is being revealed, and some things that you'll find out first before anybody else knows because you've listening to this show. And a great, exciting fundraiser that's coming up because I know so many people that, of course, respect to the depths of their heart the veterans and returning home from war and trying to make that transition, and they just wish they could help, and they don't know how to, they don't know what to do, and they don't know what to say, and they're afraid that they're going to offend somebody or, upset anyone or make them feel like they're less of a person if they, say they want to help them. There's just it's so difficult in this politically correct world to know what to do, what to say, and how to act. And we're going to try and dispel all those things and give you a way to become involved, and an exciting way, and a way that you can go and have fun and enjoy and learn more and see some vets close up, face to face. And like I told you, I had started with my grandson, Samuel, when he was very young, that if we saw anyone in a uniform, that he would go up and talk to them. And so, and say, thank you for your service. Just shake their hands. That's all you can do. Don't bother them, but just tell them how much you appreciate what they've done. And so he has remembered that like forever. He knows about veterans and all. And so he had a choir recital they were going to do, and the teacher told him they were going to be doing this for the vets, and that this was going to be very exciting, to be able to, and what an honor to be able to do this. And my grandson said, it's so weird. She said, we're doing this whole concert for vets, and I didn't know there were like that many songs about veterinarians. Like, what would we be singing about? What animals would we talk? I don't understand why we're honoring. It's just weird to me. And I said, no, veterans, that they call them vets. That's kind of like a short name for it, vets, but it's veterans, And he goes, oh, well, yeah, well, that makes, a lot of stuff makes sense now that she said. Okay. So, and we got that straight. But I love when I see veterans out and the restaurant or wherever, and that people go over, or people will pay for their dinner or whatever. It's just so great because people want to do something to honor them. And now you've got a chance. So in our second segment, Gary Buckaloo is here with S Ministries, and it's a brand new thing, and you are just going to be very excited that it's starting here, and it's taking its root and origin here in this area, and it's going to just blossom. And so many veterans are going to be so excited, and so many family members that will know finally what I can do, where I can help, what's available for us. And this is all new. So anyway, guys, we're going to be talking about that. But first of all, wow, I got to tell you, this has been so strange to me. Now, you know how I've told you guys, I try and reach out to Hillary Clinton all the time. I'm trying to say, Hillary, please call me. I've got some great advice for you. Now, you all know as well my politics, and that I would never want her to enter the realm of the White House again, especially dragging her husband with her and saying to everybody that he's going to be right there and help with the economics, and he'll be there to help with the economy, and just like he did way back when. There's nothing about what he has done way back when that I want talked about in the White House or have him there, because it's ridiculous. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. And if you make statements like that, Hillary, you're going to have Donald Trump all over your behind. I mean, this is just going to set him off, because all we have to do is go back and talk about things that you said about women. That's really changed, because just recently you said if any woman has ever been sexually abused, if this woman has been raped, if this woman has been assaulted, you have to believe every word they say. You have to believe them. Oh boy, have you evolved from where you were when you were when you first started your campaign for your husband to be president, that you made sure that every woman that kept saying that he was hitting on them or he raped them, that he assaulted them and all that they were just bimbos and that it was a right-wing conspiracy and all that, and you just put down everything they said. So it's difficult for us to listen to you make the claim that what you're doing is you want to make sure that the Republicans don't get in office and there's going to be a war on women. I'm telling you, girl, stop that rhetoric. And also, here's my final advice to you, because we're getting close to your convention, and whether you or Bernie are going to make it happen. But and I know you're worried. You act like you're not, but you are. But when you go to those rallies, here's my final bit of advice. Wait till they subside the applause before you start speaking. When you talk in the tone of voice that you get, I'm sorry, God did not bless you with a yelling voice that is attractive, palatable, or anything. But when you start that sound and that tick in your voice that you go, and we're going to make sure that Donald Trump never enters that White House because Donald Trump is going to be and wait till they quit clapping so you don't feel like you need to get into that pitch, because that pitch you get into, ooh, that is so bad. So I'm trying to give you advice, just like the red lipstick that accentuates the lines around your mouth. I told you. And your pantsuits, the long ones, don't make it, because you're an A shape, A form. You need to have that high collar or something that's distracting from the bottom. Okay, all right. Now that's it. No more advice, because you haven't called me back. You never reach out to me. And all I've been here for is to give you some good, strong advice. Now, I would not vote for you just because you're a woman. It would have been cool if you'd have come off like maybe a Margaret Thatcher, maybe, and there wasn't the luggage that you were carrying around, so, just having to drag everywhere you go. And then you're being investigated, not reviewed. Please don't keep saying reviewed. You're being investigated for, the wrong way you used your email. And girl, don't say to people, I didn't know that was classified, and I never saw anything classified or sent anything classified out, when they found thousands of them. So that makes you look kind of dumb in that way. And also that would make people go like, if she doesn't know if stuff is classified or not, and she was Secretary of State all that time, and all those other things that kept happening, they have her keep coming into Congress to talk to her about them. That girl is not, I don't know how much experience you have to have, but you're not qualified just because you have been there doing things wrong for that many years. So anyway, that's just my take on it. And you guys always know that if you're listeners and you diametrically oppose everything I'm saying, that I will be glad to listen to your side of it. Now, all you have to do is you have to go to my to the Facebook page, The Cindy Cochran Show, and you put down anything that you feel like I have said, wrong or whatever, and you can put your phone number. I can contact you. Maybe we can talk over the air, or that I'll say, here's what she thought of what I said. And as long as the words are where I can say them in mixed company, that's what I'm going to say, and it's going to be fine. I want to hear your side of it. I am not saying everybody, except if you don't think like me, you're all wrong and you're all going to hell. I do not say that normally, but I'm just saying that's what's great about politics to me. I love to talk about politics, but here's the deal, is that whether I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat does not prove the plan of my salvation. And that's what I'm most concerned with, is that I'm obeying that. And whether I am a Democrat or a Republican, a lot of people in movies, it would say, are you a Democrat or Republican? They said, no, I'm a Baptist. And some people feel that way maybe about politics, that it is like a religion. But understand that this, it's more important that we love each other and help each other and serve each other. That's more important than all of this. This is fun to talk about and to discuss and to argue about, but that's okay. That is okay. But it's till you get to that point where you understand what's the most important. So listen, guys, we're out of time for this segment. We're going to be right back with Gary Buckaloo and S Ministries and talk about where, when, how you can go to help the veterans in your family, or if you're a veteran yourself, be sure and keep listening, and we'll be right back on The Cindy Cochran Show. Don't go away. So much more to say.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the first daily talk show serving Montgomery County.
Lone Star Community Radio is FM. That's right. Set your radio dials and your button presets to Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1, coming in June of 2016. To celebrate this edition and the addition of video versions of our talk and music shows on YouTube, cable TV, and Our City TV, we are offering special sponsorships rates, which include free audio spots that are played throughout our broadcast. Interested? Check out our sponsor rates for shows just like the one you're listening to online at irlonestar.com/sponsor, or call the station at 936-647-5747. Reaching the people of Montgomery County with Montgomery County's community radio station with Lone Star Community Radio.
The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
And we're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. My special guest, Gary Buckaloo, is going to talk about S Ministries. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Cindy. Thank you for having me.
Oh, man, it's my honor, my pleasure for what you're doing, and I just applaud you for the work that you're doing. And we're going to get into that. But a story that's so relatable to what we're getting ready to talk about is that the VA secretary comes out and makes a statement. I mean, I'm telling you, the stuff you can't make up, because you feel like, did any friend of this guy say to him, that wouldn't probably be a good story to start with. When he was at the Monday, he was, I think it was a prayer breakfast or something, he was there and he was speaking, and the Veterans Affairs Secretary, Robert McDonald, on Monday compared the length of time veterans wait to receive health care at the VA to the length of time people wait for rides at Disneyland. Your brain has to stop right there and kind of re-rack and go like, what did he just say? And then said that his agency shouldn't use wait times as a measure of success because Disney doesn't either. When you go to Disney, do they measure the number of hours you wait in line? Or what's important? What's important is, what's your satisfaction with the experience? I could hardly... McDonald's said Monday during a Christian Science Monitor breakfast with reporters, and what I like to do is to move to the event as what kind of experience you may have with what kind of experience that you will measure with what, the experience you had with the event is how you're going to measure the success of the VA, not the wait time. And I'm telling you, he made so many people angry on both sides of the aisle. And Speaker Paul Ryan, who tweeted out, that's just such a, it's not a strong enough word to make understood what you were talking about. He tweeted out Monday afternoon, "This is not make-believe, Mr. Secretary. Veterans have died waiting in those lines." So let me get your response to that, Gary.
Well, I just, I've always found it pretty heinous how difficult it can be to get in. I know that a lot of these guys have problems right now, and while they're told to wait through their crisis situation until they can get in for availability, these guys are dying. And it's just, we know that government programs are there to help us, and we understand that. But, I mean, even looking back to the biblical sense, the help needs to come from the community. The government money is there, but their available sources are there, but they're at capacity. And the fact that you have to wait to be seen, I just don't understand why our veterans have to wait in line. Why do our veterans have to wait in line for that ride, as Mr. McDonald said?
Exactly.
While other folks that are here illegally get the free pass. Why is that? Why
is that, indeed? And the credibility that Gary Buckaloo carries with him is that he's a veteran of the Navy. How long did you serve?
21 and a half years.
21 and a half years. Gives him a lot of credibility, right, guys? Yeah. So when you're listening to him talk about the veterans, he's including himself, and he's been there, done that, waited for it, and all. So he is very in touch with what the real feelings are of the veterans that we have. But do you feel like right now in this politically charged campaign that's going on between presidents, Donald Trump did bring up the vets and brought them up brought them up to the surface and talked about how horrible the Veterans Association and everything that's been being done is cover up. He says it's just cover up. That's all it is. Nobody was really fired. Nothing happened. In that when we found out that they were making up numbers, and we found out that that's still being done. What? So I agree that, and do you agree with the voucher thing so that somebody can take that card? Like right now they have one, but I don't think it's effective, right?
It's not, no, ma'am. It's
right.
just, I think the most frustrating thing for me is that if you want to talk about lines, why is the nation up at arms at the line of whether a man can go into a woman's bathroom, but they're not worried about the line that sits out 3 to 6 months for a man to be able to get medication or see a mental health doctor because this man is dying? I don't understand that.
And this man put his life on the line every day while he was in service, and now he comes back home, and the very least that we could possibly do is to get him in, to get him seen for the PTSD that he has, or for a limb that is lost, and all the things these soldiers had to go through, and the military had to go through, that we dare make them sit and wait when others go before them that don't even can't be called a citizen of the United States.
And I have some numbers that might be very shocking to you. According to the National Coalition of Homeless Veterans, 11% of the homeless adult population, 11%, are veterans. These are men and women that fought for this country. They stood for something. They wrote out a check payable with their life to this nation.
That's right.
70% of those 11% have a substance abuse problem, either alcohol or drug use. And 50% of those have a mental illness. So they're self-medicating because they've lost hope in the system.
Right.
They've lost hope in the fact that they would be able to that their nation would take care of them when they come back. Now, it's not all stories are bad. I mean, there are some that really try to help.
Sure.
But the most effective program for homeless or at-risk veterans are community-based, nonprofit veterans helping veterans groups, and they work best because we feature transitional housing, vocational rehabilitation, camaraderie of living in a structured environment with like-minded people.
Now, this is what CS Ministries
This is what CS Ministries does through the Grace Program. Yes, ma'am.
Right. And that's what I mean, is like it's totally focused on getting help. Now, if someone comes in there and they need medical attention, are you able to expedite?
What we're doing now is our and I have to Healing Hands Ranch has been here for a while with Mr. Jack Hay out in Willis, and we have come together as a co-op together to bring the first 30 days we get these men out of their crisis. And I say men because eventually we're going to develop into being able to give our women help as well.
Right.
But right now we're going to focus on the guys that are at their wits' end. They've lost hope. We're going to bring them in for those first 30 days, get them out of their crisis, give them faith-based hope, give them a mission, give them a safe place to live, and then we're going to go from there, and we can talk about that in just a few minutes. But that's our actual goal, is to get these men before they become homeless, before they become another statistic with suicide.
Right. And is that statistic every, is it 30 seconds? What is it, the number?
22 was it 22 an hour, I believe? I could be.
That are, well, it was
we're
just,
losing.
That was very shocking, that it's committing suicide because there is no hope. There's no hope. There's nowhere they can turn. And after all they did and what they've been through and what they've seen, and they can't get out of their head, that they have to carry for the rest of their life, and they're treated like that, I don't blame them.
And the thing that people don't recognize is that an IUD goes off, and the guy, his friend, his brother or his sister gets blown up, and he gets concussion injury, a head trauma injury. When he goes back and asks him if he's all right, he's going to say yes. He's not going to say, no,
Sure.
I took a headshot.
Sure.
He's going to say, yes, I'm fine. Because if he says yes, he's going to say no, that nothing happened. Because if he says yes, something happened, they keep him. These men and women want to get back out there with their brothers and sisters.
See, that's we can't wrap our brain around that at all. That's just that no matter what happened to you, how horrific it was, that you still want to be out there helping, because that's your family. That is who you have bonded with through the trauma that you've all had to experience. You become so bonded to each other.
Yes, and I can even beyond that, I can relate to both sides of it. You know, myself, I dealt with alcohol issues for a long time. And on the other side of that, I had to actually bring my best friend home to his mother due to self-inflicted injuries. And there's nothing worse than standing in front of mother and letting her know that, you know, your son died because he had an alcohol problem, not because he fought bravely.
That's right. And, you know, we kind of become desensitized to what happens after we've seen the video of servicemen coming back and surprising their kids, and all the hugging and I cry every single. I don't care how many I've seen, I cry, and it's so beautiful and so wonderful. So you think, oh, now everything is happy. This is all wonderful, and you stop thinking about it. But what they're having to suffer with, you know, in post that, once they, you know, hit the ground trying to run to do something and get their life back together and normal. That's why, you know, the American Sniper was a good wake-up call.
It was. For
us to see, you know.
And just to kind of put it in perspective for people, if you could imagine that shock you get when something spooks you or frightens you, that fight or flight kicks in.
Right.
And then for a few minutes, you're kind of startled, and then it takes you a few minutes to kind of get back to where you're at. Now imagine yourself in that state of heightened awareness for hours, weeks, days, and then you get to come home and be a soccer mom or a soccer dad. You don't just walk away from that.
No, that's what CS Ministries is trying to provide, and wants to make everyone aware of the fact that they are there to take in these veterans, and especially those who do not have housing, and when we find them living in the trees in the forest, that's the most sickening thing when I found that out, is that there they are out there camping and just trying to survive. And that's all it is. And here we are, and they're surrounded by, you know, all kind of wealth. And we do have programs. Conroe's very good about having programs to try and try and help. But there is a dedicated, you know, focused, and with people that have been through it, that is going on through CS Ministries and located in Willis at
Healing Hands Ranch.
What is it called?
It's called Healing Hands Ranch.
Healing Hands Ranch.
And that's who we've partnered up with in a very big effort, and it's just been amazing. We actually, just to kind of beginning to end, we bring these men in, we get them out of their situation, just like we talked about, and out there we have industrial rehabilitation, we have weld fabrication, we have mechanics, machinists, HVACs coming, and carpentry. And the awesome part about that is Lone Star Community College has come on board for the industrial part.
Wow.
And Prairie View A&M, reaching out to our black community as well, has agreed to come upon and help us with our agricultural part so that we can be fully functional. And
you also, I mean, you have some very high-ranking dignitaries that are going to be at this fundraiser we're going to talk about next, coming up. So please keep listening. We're going to talk about how you can get involved, and we'll be right back in just a couple of minutes.
The Cindy Cochran Show, real reality radio.
Lone Star Internet Radio is now bringing you the weekly business hour show each Monday morning at 11 a.m. My name is Rick Schissler, and I will be your host. Each week we will be bringing you local, area, and national business news that you can use. The program will also feature an interview with a local or national business person who will share their own experiences, successes, and failures in operating their businesses. Our show is for anyone who already owns a business, whether they work solo or have employees, and for those who are thinking about starting their own businesses. A bit of information about myself. Again, my name is Rick Schissler, and I am a Silver Fox advisor who has over 40 years' experience as a serial entrepreneur. As a part of our show, I will offer some advice and encouragement on our monthly topic, and I will take your questions by email at rschissler@silverfox.org or called into the station at 936-647-3776. See you on the radio Monday at 11 a.m. for the weekly business hour.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the first daily talk show serving Montgomery County.
You're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show. Thank you so much for being with us, and I just hope that all of you out there that may have someone who's a veteran in their family, you may be a vet yourself, and this is going to help you and give you some hope, and that's what we want to do, is want to give the hope, because it's happening. It is happening, finally. But let me first make a note of tomorrow, Wednesday, we were going to have Brian Bondi on. He's the president of the Chamber of Commerce, and he called and said he's so sorry he has to put it off to next Wednesday, if that was okay. I said, okay, all right, next Wednesday you can be on. It's all right. I'll move everything around. No, I didn't, because I had nothing to move around. But anyway, he is going to be on Wednesday with us, and because he feels so guilty, I love that. Just, you got to make that guilt work for it, and so it's a horrible thing to waste. So anyway, he'll be here with us next Wednesday, the president of the Chamber of Commerce, and he's got a big job doing that, corralling all these businesses and helping them be supportive. And he's somebody that probably will be wanting to talk to Gary Buckaloo about how the businesses can come in and help donate and provide jobs for these veterans that they're coming in and rehabilitating. So anyway, he will be here next Wednesday. But so what I'm going to talk about is so much fun, because I love our slogan of "Don't mess with Texas." And anybody who thinks that's violent or thinks that's just a little rough, they shouldn't be like that. I've heard some people say that. I just want to puke. But "Don't mess with Texas" has a lot of different meanings to it and all that. Well, the DOJ, the Department of Justice, just found out what that means by what happened just recently. And a judge here in Texas gave the female dog slapdown to the DOJ and learned, don't mess with Texas. And it's about some lies. I know you'll go aghast. What? The DOJ lied? Yes, the Department of Justice lied, and then lied about the lies. And it did not sit well with this Texas judge and what he did to them. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Oh, it's going to be great fun. And if you have any comments or anything, go to the Facebook page, Cindy Cochran Show, and let me know what you're thinking. Also, then Thursday, we're having Cowtown Couture. I hope I said that right. Couture. Anyway, it's the clothing that a lot of cowboys would wear, but this is like cowgirls. It's very feminine. It's very beautiful. It's right across the street from us. We see them every day. They took over a very old, very established barbershop that everybody's well acquainted with. And so she has to sit there every day when everybody comes in. Do y'all do hair too? She said, no, we clothe you and make you look more like a cowboy. But she's got some amazing clothes, and she's going to talk about how you got in the business and what all they offer. So be sure and listen in for Cowtown Couture. It's really cute. It's a very cute shop. Okay, guys, and then Friday, we're going to just go all out, and I know I'm going to lose like half the listeners are going to click off for Friday, because we're going to talk about some housewives of Atlanta, of all the, it's just so much fun, the Real Housewives, and it's such a fantasy, so that's what makes it fun for Real Housewives to listen to and watch and talk about all the new shows that are coming out on Bravo, and then the movies that'll be coming up this weekend. It's going to be a lot of good movies happening. So, all right, guys, that's what we're going to be doing for the next couple of days, and you guys, please be with us every morning, 10 to 11. Now back to much more important, much more in depth, much more serious, is what's happening with S Ministries, who is here to help save. They're saving the ones who save this nation. That's what they're doing, and I love that slogan. Tell us about how you got into this, and especially where the location that you are right now.
Well, we had, I've always had a special place, obviously, for veterans, and I've been seeing actually the reality of what was going on, and I'd watch TV, and my wife could attest. I would just sit there and blow up at the lies and just knowing, when I gave myself 100% to my Lord and Savior, I was in prayer, and He basically just laid this before me, and it gave me a vision from start to finish. Get men out of crisis, allow them to get the help that they need, and all the way up to permanent housing. And I had no idea how I was going to do it. And I've known Jack for 3 years now, who's been very instrumental, a mentor of sorts to me, Air Force veteran. And he had a ministry as well that was giving sandwiches to the homeless. And he's like, wait a minute, I'm not going to give these guys a handout. I'm going to give them a hand up. And I don't want to speak for him, but he had called. We had talked about he was looking for maybe some alternatives to what was going on because of the economy, and he was self-funding. And I said, be in prayer. Here's my vision. And he said, oh my, that's my vision as well. And he said, we need to come talk. And we went out there, and we were both in prayer about it. And he said, as David had to wait for Solomon to build the temple, you're my Solomon.
That's great.
And so here we are now, just a few months later, and God is running this thing.
I'm telling you,
if we can just stay out of the way,
right?
And
right.
What the primary goal for this is not only to help them on a secular level with the jobs and all this stuff, but to bring them to the cross. It's guided to redemption and certified employable. It starts there. Mm-hmm. And as we were saying, when we get these men, and if they decide to go for a vocational rehabilitation, it's at that point now we want the community involved, not just with their funding and their volunteer work, and we'll get to that in a second, but also the fact that these job owners out here at that point can offer these men a job.
Right.
And what we're willing to do through the ministry and through the state of Texas, Linda Lagarce, thank you for all your help if you're listening.
This is about to blow your mind, listeners.
What we're going to do is, if you hire these guys, we're going to teach them how to do interviews. We're going to teach them how to be professionals. They don't need much help. They were in the military.
Right, that's right.
They just need a mission. So what we're going to do is you hire them, and what we're going to do is we're going to bond them through the state of Texas for $5,000 against theft or damage. We're also going to reimburse you monthly for their salary, 50% for 6 months.
Great.
And you
That's
also, if they're felons that are coming out, you're going to get also the benefits that you get for tax breaks for hiring felons. Communities can do this. We can do this. Conroe can do this. Montgomery County can do this. Texas, if anybody, as Kevin Brady said, can do this.
That's right.
And I think that we have a good shot. And even to add to that, at the end of that, now that they've got their job and they're working, Grow Homes has come out. These tiny occupancy houses, single occupancy houses have come out. They want to partner with us, but it's going to take money to build these things. It's going to take money to get them going. Mm-hmm. And at that point, they got their job. They're going to be offered we're going to extend a hand to them if they want to stay in a Christian environment and mentor these men coming in, then they can live there. They can live there as long as they like. So we want to say from crisis to calling it home in Christ. And that's the complete mission.
From crisis to calling it home in Christ. I can only say that. Oh, that's so great. I love that. Man, Gary, you have got to sleep better at night.
Honestly, I've been a nervous wreck with this event coming up.
for the event. But I'm telling you, what a great thing knowing what a big smile you put on God's face. That's awesome.
Well, all glory to Him. Thank you.
Well, yeah, now this is the big deal, is that you've got some pretty good dignitaries coming to a fundraising event. You tell us about the fundraising event. What
we are doing is, I know it's short notice, folks, and I'm sorry, but we've been putting it out. We have Patriots for Veterans Dinner performing live is the event there, and we're going to have Rex Robards coming out. We're going to have Brandon, who was just on Friday on this radio station, coming out and performing for us. It's at the Trail of Life Cowboy Church, and
where's that located?
It's in Grangerland. It's right outside of. Well, let me pull that.
Okay, because
I got the address right here. I will get that for you in just a second. But
what a cool place to have it.
It is. It's nice. We're gonna the doors will open at 5:30. It's this Saturday, the 28th. The doors will open at 5:30, and we can. Right when you walk in, we're going to have Mackenzie's Barbecue will be there supplying with great food. And the doors open at 5:30. The address, Trail of Life Cowboy Church, is 16455 FM 1484. And if you go to our website, cs-ministriestx.org, cs-ministriestx.org, you can buy your tickets there. They're $30, $40 at the door. 100% of all the net proceeds are going to go to CS Ministries. We're a 501c3. It's sponsored by Speed Printing in Conroe, Mackenzie's Barbecue, All Transmission, Face Cycles, and Streeter Smith Nissan. And the band's going to go on. Rex is going to get on between 6:15, 6:30, go to about 7:30, and then we're going to have some special guest speakers there. The ones that have been confirmed are Judge Wayne Mack. He will be in attendance, and then we're going to have a special guest speaker. Congressman Kevin Brady is there to support the troops, and I'm sure he'll be happy. And we're also going to have, I'm sure we may have a few members of our armed forces in uniform, and we'd love to give them a special thanks because, not everybody can go stand in front, but these men and women choose to. So.
I can't say that. That's exactly right. I was looking for pictures to put underneath the post I made on my Facebook page. I don't know if you saw it or not, but the pictures, as I went through there, I'm just awash with tears because it's just beautiful pictures. They have veterans and all, and it's one where the dad is hugging the other officer, and he's a veteran, and this officer has lost an arm and has the prosthetic, trying to hug his dad. And I'm telling you that I think that it's something that we feel so inadequate to help because we didn't do what you did. We didn't spend 21 years in the Navy like you did, Gary, and all that you've seen and what you've come up against and what has just happened. And you don't even have to be standing in the foothills of Afghanistan or Iran and all that. It's just where you serve and where you are stationed, wherever you are, knowing that you are there to go whenever you need to go to whatever place you're going to serve, and you're going to protect us. And that's just is amazing. It's just like with the policemen, first responders, people that just every day get in the car and they've got that uniform on that's kind of like a target on their back, and we don't thank them enough and give them enough. I mean, they're getting paid and it's a job they chose to do and all that. But when the wife and the kids wave by and they don't know if they're going to say hi again, that's just amazing. And that's just one of the facts that you face. My wife and I, we could go Wednesday, went down and watched our son Cole Bigger join the United States Navy. Oh my God, his name is Cole Bigger, and he. He's probably going to kill me when he hears this. But congratulations to him. But I told him, I said, there's few occupations in the world where you can meet your best friend in the world, and he'd tell you over a card game that he loves you and he'd die for you, and the next day have to prove it. Okay, we got to go to a break, and I'm so glad. That's amazing. Thank you, Gary. We'll be right back on the Cindy Cochran Show. Don't go away. There's so many more tears to say. Okay, we'll be talking about how you can get involved, and when we come back.
The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station, and we are looking for talk show hosts and volunteer DJs for our music shows. Are you interested in having your own talk show on Lone Star, or have you always wanted to live out your dreams of being a music DJ? With the addition of Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1 and video aspects of our talk shows, we are needing people to grow with us. If you or someone you know might be interested, please contact us online at irlonestar.com/contact us, or call the station at 936-647-5747 for more information.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the most opinionated talk show on radio.
That's right, and I bet you haven't guessed that, have you? Yeah, this is the most opinionated talk show, at least this side of Montgomery, that we know about. And we also have very strong evidence that Rush Limbaugh probably listens to this show because his show comes on at 11 o'clock, and when I listen to him, I go like, that's just everything we already talked about, Rush. Just, why would you want to just, say the same thing? You just say, people listen to the Cindy Cochran Show. Anyway, it's been pretty funny as I go home, I listen to him, and I go like, oh, we jumped you on that one. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know that we will be here tomorrow and it's going to be fun to talk to Sarah from Cowtown Couture. And if you guys want to go buy her shopping before she comes on, it's right. We're at 208 North Main, and she's right across the street from the Crichton Theater. If you know where the Crichton Theater is, look across the street, and there she is. And she'll be on Thursday. Thursday, not tomorrow. She'll be on Thursday. Today is Tuesday, Cindy. Yes, okay, all right, now I'm up with the week. Tomorrow we're going to talk about Don't Mess with Texas. But then Thursday she'll be here, and then Friday we'll talk about, inane stuff and movies that are going to be on entertainment. What are you going to do this weekend? And it's coming up to be Memorial Weekend. Wowee! This is an important weekend, and so it's dovetailed right into what we're talking about with Gary Buckaloo and what they're doing for the veterans. And I just, I just can't say how much I appreciate what you guys are doing and the work that you're doing. And I know that so many people, hundreds, thousands, and if you guys get this going and make the model for it so that this can go on to other places. But Texas is the perfect place to start something like this.
Yes, ma'am. And that's what the plan is to we get this up, we get it working, we prove the power of community, which we've done in Texas time and time again.
Right.
And, again, government funding helps, but that's not the answer. And I love what Ronald Reagan said, government is not the answer to our problems. Government is the problem. And I love that as Christians we're called to come together and take care of our brothers and sisters. And it's easy to get tied up in our lives. I understand that when you got to, my wife and I cumulatively have 7 children. I get it. But
I bet you do. Yeah.
But you have to take time out of your day, if not just for a few minutes, to give glory to the Lord that created you, and give thanks to the men and women that fought for that God in this country. And again, we can you can help us out this weekend. It will be a great night of fun. 28th of May, this Saturday night. Doors open at 5:30 at Trail of Life Cowboy Church out in Graceland, not out in Montgomery. I mean Grossville, not out in Montgomery.
Right.
And 16455 FM 1484 Conroe, Texas. Doors open at 5:30. Come in, get you a plate of some fine Texas barbecue. Go over, have a seat,
and shake somebody's hand.
Shake some hands, say hello, and then at between 6 and 6:15, Rex is going to take the stage. And Rex, Navy veteran, he's also a chapter elder here at Conroe for Bikers of Christ. Check out his Facebook page. Branded. We're going to have our speakers come up, and then Brandon's going to take the stage and close out the night. Robert, Marine Corps veteran. These are men that understand, and God's given them the talent to entertain for us, and they're going to do that. And then our local and our federal leadership will be there. And I just can't thank our sponsors enough for Speed Printing and McKenzie's Barbecue, All Transmission, Face Cycles, and Streeter Smith Nissan that would come on board. Corey Taylor, thank you for your help. And all we need is the ability to get this thing moving.
Right.
And then once that happens, it's going to be self-sufficient, because that's what we do as Texans. We can do it ourselves. Just give us us what we need, and tell us where to go, and we'll do it.
That's exactly right. And you guys sound like you have got it all together, and it's so exciting. And when you're doing something like this, and you're asking for God's, to be a part of it, you got his blessing. I think it's a good endorsement. I think that's the endorsement I would like to have.
Absolutely, it is. And we tell our guys out there, and I don't know who this comes from, but if you're going to ask God to guide your path, you better be willing to take the steps.
Ain't that the truth?
And but again, tickets are on sale. CS-Ministries.tx.org. $30 in advance. 2 children per ticket. If they're under 12, they get in free. And then $40 at the door. There's going to be T-shirts for sale for both Branded Rex. There's going to be CDs for sale. And then, of course, our T-shirts will be there. And I just wanted to give a quick shout to Jeremy Williams for all the help that he's been giving, and to Karen Waite and just Ashley Taylor here for Tri-County. They've been a tremendous help getting these things going. And without them, it'd just be virtually impossible. But they are committed to helping our veterans. It's just this easy for a veteran to be doing fine and then fall off. I got a friend, multiple Purple Heart recipient. He's also got 2 DUIs because something's wrong. Mm-hmm. And
we got to stop that third one.
If he gets his 3rd DUI, now we're trying to keep him from pin time, and
right.
and there's something that we can do.
That's right, and you guys are doing it, and that's exciting. It's coming right out of being, the origin, the birth of it's happening right here in our area, and we need to support it. Also, you need to do a shout out to your wife.
Oh, Lisa, I love you.
And that, see how good he did? He talked slow enough. Everybody understood him. The people from East Texas would understand it because we all talk that fast. But he slowed it down for all of us. He did a great job. So thank you very much, Gary. We'll see you again because you got to come back on and do updates.
Absolutely.
And all
Thank
that
you for
stuff.
having me, Cindy.
Oh, man,
Thank you very much.
It was wonderful. Everybody, go out, have a great day, make somebody happy, and you'll be happier. And thank you for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. Cindy Cochran Show. I love you, Mom.
Thanks for checking out this production of Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station. For more information on this show and other shows on Lone Star Community Radio, check us out online at irlonestar.com. If you're interested in sponsoring a program on Lone Star Community Radio and reaching the local audience of Montgomery County on FM, internet, TV, media, please call 936-647-5747 or contact us online at irlonestar.com. This recording is a Lone Star Community Radio production produced by the show host and Dick Schissler of Lone Star Community Radio. Interested in volunteering as a music DJ or starting your own talk show? Contact Dick Schissler at dick@irlonestar.com or by phone at 936-647-5747.